Hello students, we are going to talk about forelimb today, which is also called as pectoral girdle. Okay, so in pectoral girdle, when you talk about shoulder bone, so over here a triangular shape, you will be able to see a scapula. This is called as shoulder bone also. Then you can see a collar bone, which is called as clavicle, and over here there is a cavity present in the shoulder bone. That cavity is called as glenoid cavity, and in glenoid cavity the head of the humerus is nothing but arm bone. It is articulated inside, it means it is going to fit inside. Okay, clavicle is one, scapula is one, you can see humerus is also one. Now you can see a deltoid ridge, it means delta shaped ridge over here. What is the function of this? That muscles are going to be attached to this region and it is going to help in contraction and relaxation. That we'll see later. When you come down from the humerus to radius and ulna, okay, you can see that this ulna part, okay, this is the ulna. You can see the head of the ulna is going to be articulated, it is going to be joined to humerus also at this point. Now if you see over here at this point, okay, this ulna is going to have a cavity. Okay, this ulna somewhere over here, it is going to have a cavity like this. So in this cavity the radius is going to fit inside. Okay, radius is going to fit inside, and now this is going to be called as radio-ulnar joint. Okay, this is the joint we are talking about. Now this lower end of the humerus we talked about is attached to radius, and the radius other end over here is attached to two bones. And what are names of those bones? They are called as scaphoid and lunate bones. We can call them as wrist bones. I'll show you figure over here. We saw that in carpals there are 8 bones. Out of 8 bones, 2 bones when we talk about, one is called as scaphoid and one is called as lunate. Let's zoom out, I'll tell you where. See now over here, this carpal, okay, these are the carpals, 7 carpals. Now this is the radius, and this radius is attaching with 2 bones. You can see one is this, okay, and the other one is over here, this. Okay, so these 2 bones of the carpal we are talking about, names as scaphoid and lunate bones. Upper end of the ulna articulates with humerus. Okay, see, this is the ulna. This upper end, you can see over here, the upper end is articulated with humerus, whereas the lower end of the ulna, you can see over here, is articulated with carpal. Okay, now these are some mnemonics given which is going to help you in remembering names of all the carpals, which are 8 in number. Okay, so this proximal row, it means we are talking about one row, and at the lower side we are talking about second row. Over here you can see that, see here, proximal row, see, that is scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum and pisiform. So to remember this, what we have done, she, so S for she, S for scaphoid, looks, then lunate, to, triquetrum, pretty, pisiform. Okay, at the lower side you can see distal side, trapezium, to, trapezoid, catch, capite, her and hemate. So this becomes a kind of statement, she looks too pretty, try to catch her. Okay, so this can help you in remembering the entire sequence. Over here you can see that labeling is done of all the 8 carpals. Okay, wrist bones you can also say. The only sesamoid bone, what is sesamoid bone? The bone which is enclosed inside, or you can say attached with lot of muscles. So sesamoid bone in forelimb is pisiform. Where is pisiform? You can see in the figure, this one. Pisiform is nothing but a carpal, right? Now after carpals, when you come down in your hand, you will see that there are metacarpals. Metacarpals are also called as palm bones. So how many fingers are there? Those many metacarpals are going to be there. Now how many phalanges are going to be there? See, in phalanges, no, each finger is going to have 3 phalanges, right? It means total how many fingers are there? 4. So 4 into 3 equals to 12 phalanges are there, and thumb is going to have 2 phalanges, right? It means total how many are there? 14 phalanges are going to be there. So over here phalangeal formula comes to be 2, 3, 3, 3 and 3. Okay, if you write opposite of this 3, 3, 3, 3 and 2, it can be considered as wrong. So please select this kind of option if it is already given, right? Now we'll come to hind limb bones. Okay, we have already discussed forelimb. Let's come to hind limbs. So hind limbs, here you can see the complete diagram of hind limb. Okay, in this you can see that these are the hip bones. Okay, and we call it as pelvic girdle. This is called as coxal bone. This upper part is ilium. Okay, this narrow part is pubis, and this bottom part is called as ischium. So hip bone consists of ilium, ischium, pubis and coxal bone. When we talk about only the limb, then here the longest bone, that is also called as thigh bone, is located, which is 1. Okay, after thigh bone you can see that the way in forelimb radius and ulna was there, over here tibia and fibula are present. And over here in the middle you can see this is called as kneecap or patella. This is going to be present in a cavity. This is femur, right? So in femur there is a cavity going to be there, right, like this. Okay, so in this cavity only patella is going to be there. So let's study in detail what we are going to talk about. We'll study in detail about each. Now see, tibia, fibula we saw. Then we'll see tarsals. Tarsals means the way we had wrist bones. So here we are going to have bones. We can say heel bones or something. So tarsals are going to be there. So carpals were 8, but tarsals are going to be 7. Metatarsals are going to be 5, and phalanges are going to be same as they were in hand, that is 14 in fingers. Same applies here as well. How? In each toes, okay, in each toes there are going to be 3. So 4 toes, so 3 4s are 12. But in thumb there is going to be how many? Only 2. So 2 into 1, so that becomes 2, that is 14 are present over here also. Okay, let's discuss what we are will discuss in detail. So see, in this, okay, we'll discuss line by line. So here we know that total how many are there? Phalangeal formula we saw. The only sesamoid bone of hind limb is patella of forelimb was pisiform. Now femur, which is the longest bone, so head of the femur is directed upward, articulates with acetabulum to form hip joint. See, in forelimb this was articulated, that was humerus was articulated into the shoulder bone with the help of which cavity? That was glenoid cavity. But over here you can see this articulation. Okay, over here in hip bone this femur is going to be articulated and it is going to form a joint, and which cavity is going to be there? It is called as acetabulum, and joint is going to be ball and socket. Same was there in hand also. Lower end of the femur is expanded to form 2 large condyles. Okay, 2 structures, one medial and one lateral. So you can see over here they are going to form one lateral condyle and one medial condyle. Now patella bone, what is patella bone? It is going to be triangular in shape. Sesamoid bone, we already know that it is attached to muscles. In knee, it is knee bone and located in the patellar groove of femur. We already discussed that in femur there is going to be a groove. In this groove the patella bone is going to be there. Okay, now tibia, what is tibia? It is the medial and the larger bone of the leg. You can see over here that this is the tibia, this is present in the middle part, and you can see this is fibula, this is going to be present and sideways, that is laterally. Okay, and it is going to be thinner. Now tibia, you can see that it is thicker. Okay, so you can call it as motu. Okay, motu. And fibula, you can see it is thin, so you can call it as patlu. Okay, so motu patlu ki jodi over here you can say. Okay, now one more thing over here you need to keep in mind is that the tibia part, okay, the head of the tibia, this part is going to be attached to femur over here. okay, because see, here is the femur, okay, and this is the tibia, and in between over here what is going to be there? Patella or kneecap is going to be there, okay. So this was about tibia, that was motu. Now patlu, that is lateral side, small bone of the leg, okay. The upper end articulates with tibia. You can keep in mind over here that this fibula is not attached to femur over here, it is attached to tibia over here, and the lower end is attached to which part? Where it is going to be attached to the which part? To the tarsals, okay. The lower part is going to be fused with the tarsals. Lower end fuses with the uh, tibia, okay, and forms tibiofibular joint, okay. Which joint it is going to form? Tibiofibular joint, which is actually an immovable joint. So over here you can see that this fibia is joined to over here on top, at bottom over here on tibia, and then it is going to go down, okay, and this joint is tibiofibular joint, okay. Next we are going to talk about tarsals. What are tarsals? You can say that ankle bones. How many tarsals are there? 7 are there. Now name is given: talus above, navicular in between, and calcaneum below. So you can see over here naming is given: calcaneum, talus, navicular. So you can remember these if you can. If you are not able to, it is fine. Very less chances are there that from these questions are asked. Tarsal bones are much larger and stronger than the carpal bone. See, obviously tarsal bone have to be larger and stronger because they have to bear the weight of the entire body, right? Talus is the second largest tarsal bone. So you can see over here talus second largest, and it is between tibia above and calcaneum below. That is fine. Chalo, tibia above and then calcaneum below, that you can see in the picture. Now calcaneum is what? It is the longest bone, right? Largest bone you can say. It forms the prominence of heel. When you touch your heel, your feet's heel, the bone which you can feel is nothing but that is calcaneus, this one, okay. And this is the largest one, you can see from here it is coming. Now dorsal row, okay, we saw that there were 2 rows, proximal rows. We are going to see distal. 4 tarsal bone lying side by side. How they are going to lie side by side? See here. Now that is cuneiform, that is 1, 2 and 3. Cuneiform is where you can see that first cuneiform, second and then third, they are arranged laterally, okay. Now metatarsals are what? 5 metatarsals are going to be there, and then they are going to be numbered differently, okay. You don't have to remember the names of these, it is okay. Now phalanges, you know that how many? 14 are going to be there. 2 for the great toe and 3 for the each finger, so it comes out to be 14. Now as compared to phalanges of hand, they are small in size, obviously. Now digital formula और pharyngeal formula बोलो, दोनों क्या है? दोनों के दोनों same है, ठीक है. So whatever is asked, digital or pharyngeal, you are going to write same thing, okay. Phalangeal, digital. So here comes an end to the hind limb. Now we were going to see girdles, which is pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Pectoral girdle means we are going to talk about shoulder bone, and when we talk about pelvic girdle, we are going to talk about hip bone. That we will continue in next lecture. I hope you have understood.